Now, the show that dares to ask 20 questions.
This is Hector Ramirez reporting for your TV news magazine, 20 Questions. Some people claim the Joes are a needless military extravagance at best and a blatant ripoff of the American taxpayer at worst. Cut. I wonder if there's an Emmy in this for me.
Coming up on Crossfire Collectibles, the Sunbow Entertainment and Marvel Production frequent guest reporter, 20 Questions Zone, Hector Ramirez. Custom build, tutorial, and review. Stick around. What's up, and welcome to Crossfire Collectibles. Today's video, we're going to be doing a custom build, tutorial, and review on the Sunbow Entertainment and Marvel Productions shared universe character, Hector Ramirez. So, Hector Ramirez was our reporter for the entertainment company 20 Questions, a show that engages in sensationalism. Hector's credibility is questionable, and he seems to thrive on the hard-hitting controversy more than factual accuracy. And it's always hard to deny his tenacity. Basically, he's just a reporter who's always looking for the scoop, whether it be fact or fiction. I think Hector Ramirez was based on the real-world personality investigative journalist Geraldo Rivera, and Sunbow decided to add him into quite a few shows. So I guess over the next probably minute and a half, we're going to show you some of those appearances right here.
Good evening. This is Hector Ramirez of 20 Questions. Tonight, we ask one of the most important questions of our time. Reports that the Shore Foundation is funding Brother Druid's underground activities.
No comment. Ooh, that Hector Ramirez really ticks me off.
Sorry.
Scored another decisive victory today in their ongoing struggle against Cobra. Shown here in action are General Hawk and Sergeant Slaughter leading an attack against a fortified Cobra outpost. Tonight's big story. Is one of America's elite G.I. Joe team a traitor? Hello, I'm Hector Ramirez, your host of 20 Questions. Since 20 Questions always brings you both sides of the issues, tonight, in a special broadcast, an exclusive interview with Cobra Commander, Serpentor, and Dr. Mindbender. Welcome to 20 Questions.
Tension between the U.S. and the Soviet Union reached its highest point today. Both nations have placed their armed forces on full alert.
Decepticons. Let's go live to Hector Ramirez at the world premiere of Flint Westwood's new film, My Fist in Your Face. Flint Westwood himself is here, along with Sigourney Loomis, martial arts star Bruce Lee, and look who's just arrived, Jim. What's gotten into you?
Pipe down, Ramirez. I'm the star they want to see.
But it's my movie.
Alright, so now let's move on to the figure. So as you can see, we have all the parts set out and ready. We have a base figure that was originally going to be a Extensive Enterprises, Tomax, or Zaymont that was pre-built from a friend of mine. I didn't actually do this one, so I'm going to have to go over it. I figured these parts will work perfectly, and I just need to touch them up with some paint and kind of update them a bit. But for the parts itself, with the figure here, we have the torso, and the torso is used from a Flint version 11. That was a 25th anniversary figure, so the upper and lower torso came from that Flint. The hands back here, as you can see, they're the more flesh tone, and these are also from a 25th figure, and that would be the Cobra Trooper version 6 from the Legion's 5-pack. So most of this stuff we'll be touching up. Now the arms, the upper arms are also from Flint version 11, and the lower arms I was having a little trouble trying to identify. I believe, and I might be mistaken, that these are from the Crimson Guard version 9, but I'm really unsure. Could be a Wild Bill. I'm not really positive off the top of my head. So the legs, the upper legs are from Storm Shadow version 21. And the lower legs are from Cobra Commander version 24. Now moving on to the extra pieces. We have the head. So I figured this will work pretty good. And this is actually a lyric from Visionaries cast that we got from AVAX Labs, as well as a microphone, which is also from AVAX Labs. And this is called the Leisure Suit, which is pretty much the outer top of a blazer, and as well as from AVAX Labs. So there's our parts. Now we're going to go over the markers that we're going to use. So I was pretty undecided on what I was going to do about the color of his blazer. I'd like to keep it the blue, but you know, when we eventually do Tomax and Zaymon from Extensive Enterprises, we're going to need pretty much the same colors. You know, the white shirt, the dark blue blazer, and the gray pants. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do this one brown. So for the blazer, we're going to go with a red brown. This is a Gundam marker GM 186. So that should give us a nice look for our brown blazer. We also have a tie that's out of the picture. It was originally yellow, also from AVAX Labs, and we're actually painting that red, so it's drying. And we used a Craftsmart red paint pen for that. For the eye color, we use a white highlight pen. We also have a black Gundam fine point for the eyelashes and pupils. For the hair, we have a Gundam Real Touch black. This will probably be maybe the mustache and the actual hair itself. Then for touch-ups on our pants, we're going to use a Gundam marker GM12, and this is a gray. And also for touch-ups around the collars of the hands and some on the shirt, we'll just color that in with the highlight pen white. So now, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. But first, please subscribe to the channel. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and bring our plate in. We'll adjust our camera, and we'll get this ball rolling. So there's not too much I need to do, you know, with this video, but you know, paint a couple things, touch it up. The head would like to take the longest, but I'm going to go ahead and get started on the vest, and we're going to go ahead and color that in with the brown. So we'll give it a shake and start it up. Alright, so there's our jacket with a kind of base coat on it to begin with. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the arms while we wait for that to dry, and then we'll go back and do some touch-ups with that. Alright, so there's one arm, and then we'll go ahead and get the second. Alright, and now we have a base down of the brown on the arms, and hopefully that's all we need. I know we'll probably get a little bit of chipping once we put the jacket on, but for the most part, I think we're okay. So instead of setting him down, I'm going to go ahead and bring a small Joe stand in and just plug him onto it. And then we'll look around the legs and see what kind of areas we might have to touch up. So we're going to break our gray out and see if we can't touch up a few spots, mainly up around the upper thigh. So not much at all, just a few small touch-ups. And now, while we wait on that to dry, we probably could touch up the chest a bit more, and we could put our tie on. But let's go ahead and break out our white, and we'll see what we can do with the chest, because it is a bit choppy. Alright, so I'm not sure what paints he actually used on these, so I gotta be careful with, you know, what I do. But we're gonna go ahead and continue to use this white a bit, and we're gonna get these, I guess, cuffs right under his hands painted in white. Alright, so there we go. We got some white cuffs in a little bit thicker on our hands. And now while we continue to wait for everything to dry, we're going to break our head out. But first we need to go back to our brown real quick and get the bottom of the leisure jacket right there where I left a spot so I could touch it. So we'll color that in real quick. Alright, there we go. So we can set that back and let that dry. Now we can break our head out. and go ahead, try to jam this Q-tip up in there. This one's hardened with super glue, so I don't know if it'll fit. We got it in a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and start with the eyes. So now we need to let that white dry, but while we do that, we're gonna go ahead and break out our fine point, and we'll go in for the mustache and the eyebrows. All right, so we're gonna need to get up there and clean up a little bit of that mustache. And I also forgot to bring out another gunna marker for our lips, and there's our Real Touch Pink, just to get that out of the way. And then we'll go ahead and bring in our X-Acto knife and clean some edges up. All right, let's go ahead and try to put the pupils and the eyelashes on. All right, we got our eyes on. We're gonna have to go in and kind of darken them a bit because they're a little off, but we'll get it to work. All right, I think we'll leave the eyes alone for now. So we're gonna go ahead and I guess start with the outline of the hair. So we'll need to stick our Q-tip back in there. All right, so I think we got our front basic outline. And we're gonna go ahead and fill in some more of it, let it dry, and then get our lips done. All right, for the most part, the hair is done. I'm gonna set it back to dry after we get these lips on. So we're gonna go ahead and set that aside, and then we'll get back to the figure. So hopefully this brown is dry. Let me see, I kind of want it dry to the touch. So I'll mess around with it. And it seems to be pretty good. A little bit on the shoulder. I got to put in right there. That won't be a problem. So we'll just get in a few touch-ups around this. And then I think we're probably safe to go ahead and put the outer leisure jacket on. All right, a minor touch-up. We do actually have to put the tie on. So let me go ahead and get that done. We're going to use the tweezers for this because this is kind of a little tight. We're going to go ahead and break out some glue here. I'm going to get a little dab right onto the back of this tie. If you can see where the yellow is, I left a little bit so it shows through. We'll kind of slightly get that dab and just spread it out. Should be enough. All right, there we go. So I think that tie will work. We can close our glue back up. And for the fun of it, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of black on that buckle. Because I don't know if this was meant to be there or got a little messed up somehow. I did think about doing this a color, but kind of decided against it. I think black's fine. So there we go. That's on there. Now we're going to go ahead and put our jacket on. So we got to get these arms back. Now here's where I'm expecting a little bit of, I guess, flaking from the vest itself. So we'll probably go back in and touch that up if it does it. Hopefully it doesn't, but it's kind of expected. Due to the flexibility of the plastic stretching, I think that the paint might just peel a little bit. All right, I think it actually went on pretty well. I'm gonna give it a look over, Looks fine. I could have went down a little bit further on the inside with the brown, but it'll do for now. One thing I do have in mind is if I ever want to, I can change it up. So if I grab another one of these, you know, outer leisure jackets, I can paint it a different color, you know, and switch up his outfit here and there if I want. And the arms are pretty easy to paint over. But now let's go ahead and bring his hands in, and we'll put those on. They're still a little damp. They should pop right on. All right, there's one. And two. Now we'll bring in his little microphone here. And pop that into his hand. Lift it up so he's ready to talk. I think we can get our plate out of here. I think we're good for the head. The black should be dry. Pop that out. Maybe a little bit of glue in the head just to hold it in place. It is a little wider than the ball joint itself, so we'll put a little, probably a little drop in there, and then spin it around so it gives a little more hold. Let's see what we can do. Put a drop on the top of that ball joint. There we go. I can feel it now. Let's just spin it for a bit and let it take its place. Cool. So there we have it. I think our Hector Ramirez custom is complete. So now we'll go ahead and throw him up on the turntable and give you some final thoughts.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Be sure to check out our previous videos. A link will always be pinned in the comments.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
Alright, so here you have it. Here is our Sunbow Entertainment and Marvel Productions frequent guest reporter, 20 question zone, Hector Ramirez, custom build, tutorial, and review. He was pretty easy, pretty fun. I'm glad to actually add this figure to the collection. I always wondered why they never made one. I mean, he shows up in so much stuff, and not just the Sunbow Marvel Entertainment, you know, cartoons, but he showed up in comics as well. He showed up in G.I. Joe, you know, with the Transformers. He showed up in the G.I. Joe IDW comics, and there was even word for a while for him to join My Little Pony, but I don't think that ever happened. However, yeah, pretty easy build. Luckily, I had some of the stuff, you know, pre-painted already from, I said, the body that I got from a friend of mine. Just add a little touch up, change the color on the jacket, and I think it worked out. I like my choice for the head. I think that was pretty good. If it was up to me, I'd probably make the hair a little more bushier. He looks a little kind of sinister in the eyes, but, you know, it's meant to be from a Sunbow show, so it doesn't really matter. But overall, fairly easy build. I'll go back and, you know, scrape off a little bit of the white that got on his hands, you know, maybe add some, I don't know, a little bit of shadowing, cell shading, if you will. And I think overall, though, it came out okay. But, that's just about going to do it for this one. I really wanted to get him done because I have some things coming this week that I think you guys will see pretty cool. Hector Ramirez, you know, he likes to interview music from what I'm seeing. Anything in the news, really, but especially on Jim, he's after the entertainment part. So I got a couple things that I'm going to bring out. Have him standing on standby, you know, just maybe with a brief intro. I'm not sure yet, but we got some cool things that are going to line up into something pretty big, and it's really cool. So be sure to stick around, check us out this week, and get some ideas. But anyways, that's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. If you did, please, like always, leave a giant thumbs up, subscribe, tickle that bell so you know if I want to post future videos. Be sure to follow us on social media, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.
Cut. I wonder if there's an Emmy in this for me.